दम्भो दर्पो अभिमानश्च
दम्भो दर्पो अभिमानश्च
क्रोधः पारुष्यमेव च
क्रोधः अपरु पारुष्याम पारुष्यामवच
अज्ञानं चाभिजातस्य
अज्ञानं चापि जातस्य
पार्था सम्पदमासुरीम्.
पार्था सम्पदमासुतम्.
Pride, arrogance, conceit, anger, harshness, and ignorance. These qualities belong to those of demoniac nature. So again, this chapter is divine and demoniac natures. So now the Lord is describing the demons. First three verses he described the devatas or people who support the Lord's position in the universe. They don't go contrary to the Lord's position. They don't try to manufacture something on their own, but they pretty much follow the Lord's injunctions and orders. So, in the purport, Swami Prabhupada says, in this verse, the royal road to hell is described. Means how to go to hell is described. So, yeah, you want to read this?
Asha. In this verse, the royal road to hell is described. The demonics want to make a show of religion and advancement in spiritual science, although they do not follow the principles. They are always arrogant, are proud in possessing some type of education or so much wealth. They desire to be worshipped by others and demand respectability, although they do not command respect. Over trifles, they become very angry and speak harshly, not gently. They do not know what should be done and what should not be done. They do everything whimsically according to their own desire and they do not recognize any authority. These demonic qualities are taken on by them from the beginning of their bodies in the womb of their mother, and as they grew, they manifest all these inauspicious qualities.
Right? So, these bad qualities are coming from beginning of their bodies in their wombs.
Mm.
So, Lord Krishna says, if somebody is against them, he will perennially throw them in asuric or demoniac families. So if somebody is inimical or against the Lord, so his punishment is not like direct punishment. He'll just put them into bad families. So once somebody is born in bad family, what will happen? They'll acquire bad qualities because everybody around them is, has a different level of consciousness. So they naturally become demoniac, right? So punishment doesn't have to be like physical punishment, like beating somebody, right? So the punishment in this case is just putting them in a bad family. So the fellow will be will not have much um, chance to basically take to devotional service and get liberated. So this is a big punishment actually. It's not a small punishment to be put in the womb of a mother in a demoniac or a bad family like that. So 16.5. Daivi sampad vimokshaya
Daivi sampat vimokshaya
nibandhaya surimata
nibandhaya suri maya mata
masuchah sampadam daivim
masucha sampatam daivim
abhijatosi pandavam.
abhijatosi pandava.
So translation, the transcendental qualities are conducive to liberation, whereas the demoniac qualities make for bondage. Right? So transcendental qualities means people who are not thinking in the three modes, like lust, greed, anger, being in the mode of passion, being in the mode of ignorance, or even being in the mode of goodness. So they are not thinking like that. What they are thinking, they are transcendental. Such qualities are conducive to liberation. So these are the devatas who are aspiring for some kind of liberation. And then Krishna says, do not worry, O son of Pandu, for you are born with divine qualities. So Krishna is already giving a certificate that you have divine qualities. Okay, so you want to read the purport again?
Yes, sir. Lord Krishna encouraged Arjuna by telling him that he was not born with demonic qualities. His involvement in the fight was not demoniac because he was considering the pros and cons. He was considering whether the respectable person such as Bhishma and Drona should be killed or not. So he was not acting under the influence of anger, false prestige, or harshness. Therefore, he was not of the qualities of demons. For a Kshatriya, a military man, shooting arrows at the enemies is considered transcendental, and refraining from such a duty is demoniac. Therefore, there was no cause for Arjuna to lament. Anyone who performs the regulative principles of the different orders of life is transcendentally situated.
So this is very key point. Normally we think, right, if somebody is killing somebody, he must be bad. But no, for a Kshatriya, shooting
Fighting
arrows
is
at enemies is considered transcendental. So he's not in mode of ignorance. He's not saying, I won't fight. He's not in mode of passion. He's not fighting out of anger or greed or jealousy or envy, right? He's not even doing it neutrally, like in the mode of goodness. But he is shooting arrows on the order of the Supreme Lord, so which is naturally transcendental, right? And then Srila Prabhupada concludes, anyone who performs the regulative principles of different orders of life is transcendentally situated. So, like for example, a Shudra who is making pots. So he's making pots and then firing them in a kiln so that they become hard and then taking them to sell in the market. In case he is thinking of the Lord while doing that, his activity of making pots is transcendental. Right? Normally we don't think of it like that. So consciousness matters more than the activity itself. So if you have the right consciousness, Krishna consciousness, any activity is transcendental according to our varna and our ashrama. So a potter is supposed to make pots. So by doing that and by thinking of the Lord while he's doing that, his activity is almost transcendental, always transcendental. So similarly, Arjuna being a Kshatriya, he has to fight. But if he doesn't fight, then he's being selfish. Otherwise, his activities are transcendental. So 16.6. Dvau bhuta sargau lokesmin
Dvau bhuta sarga lokesmin
daiva asura evacha
daiva asura evacha
daivo vistarasah prokta
devo vistarashaka prokta
asuram partha me shrinum.
ashuram partha me shrunum.
O son of Partha, in this world there are two kinds of created beings. One is called divine and the other is demoniac. Dvau. Dvau means two. So there are two kinds of beings. I've already explained to you at length the divine qualities, which I did in verses 1 through 3 and little bit in the previous verse also. Now hear from me of the demoniac. So now he is giving more detailed topics about the demoniac qualities. Okay, you want to read the purport?
Yeah, yes, bro. Lord Krishna, having assured Arjuna that he was born with the divine qualities, is now describing the demonic way. The conditioned living entities are divided into two classes in this world. Those who are born with divine qualities follow a regulated life. That is to say, they abide by the injunction in scriptures and by the authorities. One should perform duties in the light of authoritative scripture. This mentality is called divine. One who does not follow the regulative principles as they are laid down in the scriptures and who acts according to his whims is called demonic or asuric. There is no other cri- uh, criterion but obedience to the regulative principles of scriptures. It is mentioned in Vedic literature that both the demigods and the demons are born of the Prajapati. Prajapati. The only difference is that one class obey the Vedic injunction and the other does not.
Yeah. So again, the same point is being elaborated. Obedience to the regulative principles of the scriptures. See, that's where we get the four regulative principles: no meat eating, no gambling, no illicit sex, no intoxication. And people say, hey, why are you saying all these things? Did God want us to do? Actually, He wanted us to do those things. They are mentioned in many places in the scriptures. If you want to go back to Godhead, some Puranas also talk about eating meat. But then that is not for people who want to go back to Godhead. That's for people who want to enjoy life, but in a regulated way, right? But there are some regulated principles. If you go through the principle, if it says no meeting means no meat eating, that's it. Because it kills the principle of mercy. So therefore, scriptures say that this is very important, not to follow that. I mean, not to break that or follow the principle of no meat eating. And the only difference is that one class obeys, right? So the Devatas obey and the other does not. The Rakshasas or the Danavas or the Asuras don't. That's all the difference is. Sometimes you'll feel like Ravana. He's doing a lot of things. He's also fasting. He's also reciting mantras, wakes up early and does his, duties. So you may mistake him for being a very pious person. Yes, he's pious, but he does not want to obey the Lord's order, right? That's why he's called an asura. So, and sometimes you'll see devatas, they'll be making all kinds of mistakes. They'll be running away with other people's wives, this and that. But when it comes to following the principles outlined by the Lord, they're always obeying. They say, yes, Lord said, so we'll obey. So it's not like that devata is extremely bad or that Rakshasa or Asura is extremely good. No, they have their innate propensities, but they also follow certain broad material principles. So, here, in order to get back to the spiritual world or to serve the Lord, one has to follow, obey the regulative principle. That's why I said obedience to the regulative principles. So, that is what separates Devatas and Rakshasas. Pravrittim cha nivrittim cha
Pravrittim cha nivrittim cha
jana na vidurasurai
jana na vidurasure
na saucham na pichacharo
na saucham na pichacharo
na satyam teshu vidyate.
na satyam tesu vidyate.
So he's saying those who are demoniac, they don't know what is pravritti and what is nivritti. Pravritti means material causes, right? So you are doing something so that you can get some benefit and enjoy. Nivritti means you're gradually giving up stuff, right? The path of renunciation. So initially you may give physical stuffs away, then you get these mental concoctions also away, and simply say, this is what the Lord wanted, so I'll do it. End of story. They don't want to unnecessarily get dragged into something else. And then Krishna gives two more qualities. Na saucham. Saucham means cleanliness. Na means no. No saucham. Na pichach. So no truth. No proper behavior. So na pichacharo means no proper behavior. Na satyam means no truth. Teshu vidyate means these are people are following these. Uh, they are not following these principles. That's why you see the word na, right? So these principles are to be followed, but they are breaking these principles of cleanliness, behavior, truth, like that. Okay, please read the purport.
In every civilized human society, there is some set of scriptural rules and regulations which is followed from the beginning, especially among the Aryans, those who adopt the Vedic civilizations and who are known as the most advanced civilized people. Those who do not follow the scriptural injunctions are supposed to be demons. Therefore, it is stated here that the demons do not know the scriptural rules, nor do they have any inclinations to follow them. Most of them do not know them, and even if some of them know, they have not the tendency to follow them. They have no faith, nor are they willing to act in terms of Vedic injunctions. The demons are not clean, either externally or internally. One should always be careful to keep his body clean by br- bathing, brushing teeth, shaving, changing clothes, etc. As far as internal cleanliness is concerned, one should always remember the holy name of the God and chant
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama, Hare Rama,
Ram,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare.
The demons neither like nor follow all these rules for external and internal cleanliness. As for behavior, there are many rules and regulations guiding human behaviors, such as the Manusmrita, which is the law of the human race,
It is Manu Samhita.
Manu Samhita, which is the law of the human race. Even up to today, those who are Hindu follow the Manu Samhita laws, laws of inheritance, and other legalities are derived from this book. Now, in the Manu Samhita, it is clearly stated that a woman should not be given freedom. That does not mean that women are to be kept as slaves, but they are likely, uh, they are like children. Children are not given freedom, but that does not mean that they are kept as slaves. The demons have now neglected such injunctions, and they think that women should be given as much freedom as men. However, this has not improved in social conditions of the world. Actually, a woman should be given protection at every stage of life. She should be given protection by the father in her younger days, by the husband in her youth, and by the grown up sons in her old age. This is proper social behavior according to the Manu Samhita. But modern education has artificially devised the puffed up concept of womanly life, and therefore marriage is practically now an imagination in human society. The social conditions of women is thus not very good now. Although those who are married are in a better condition than those who are proclaiming their so-called freedom. The demons, therefore, do not accept any instructions which is good for society, and because they do not the experience follow the experience of great sages and the rules and regulations laid down by the sages, the social condition of the demonic peoples are very miserable.
Yeah. So here the emphasis is given on freedom of women. So it's not like they have to be kept as slaves, but because they are like children, they make quick decisions and they may not understand what is dangerous. And also women who proclaim their freedom, you'll see that they are in a very precarious condition. At least women who is married, they have a family structure with kids, this and that. But women who are alone, they're in a very dangerous situation. Everybody's trying to exploit them. So therefore, freedom should not be given. But when demons say, no, 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 we have to give, everything is equal, this, that, then their situation becomes very bad. Like one day I had like a night deployment at office. But my boss, who is a lady, she said, no, I cannot come because I'm a woman. See, they want their freedom, but at the same time, when it comes to doing tough tasks, they back out, right? So this is the danger. So people may say, yes, yes, I can do it. But then when it comes to reality, they cannot do it. They want to dominate though, right? Like for example, if you put a woman in project manager roles, like I have been dealing with some women project managers at work, they try to be pretty dominating, right? Because it's only theoretical work. Hey, have you done this? Have you done this? But when it comes to like working tough schedules, Then they'll say, no, no, no. Then they'll play their womanly role. Oh, I have to take care of my kids. They'll come back from school at 4 o'clock. And by 4 o'clock, they're vanishing. So they dominate from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. But after that, they vanish. So what does that tell you? That scriptural rules are correct because they're supposed to take care of their kids. They're supposed to do certain things. But in the name of artificial freedom, they try to dominate other people. So, and this you will see, especially in America. Prithu Prabhu, he used to be a sannyasi, Prithu Maharaj, when he said one thing, he was from Germany. He said, in America, there is no difference between men and women. They feel that they're equal. Even in Germany, forget India, even in Germany, women think that, yes, I need to follow this household order and structure. But here, that's all gone now. Okay, 16.8. Asatyam apratishtam te
Asatyam apratishtam te
jagadahoranishwaram
Jagadarura Ishwaram
aparaspara sambhutam
Aparaspara Sambhutam
kimanyat kama haitukam.
Kimanyat Kama Haitukam.
They say, they means the demons, say that the world is unreal with no foundation, no God in control. They say it is produced of sex desire and has no other cause other than lust. So the demons, one other quality they have is everything is just sex. So you can do whatever, you can have sex with anybody, man, woman, child. Recently, I was hearing in one Christian church, one minister who is supposed to be the top guy, and then some other staff member, they raped a 11-year-old girl because they're thinking everything is based on sex. They can do whatever they want to do. Even the people who are supposed to protect religion, they're also getting affected by this thing. So it's not easy. Okay, Sarvana, you want to read the purport?
Sure, Prabhu. Purport by Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Swami Prabhupada ki jai. The demonic conclude that the world is phantasmagoria. There is no cause and effect, no controller, no purpose. Everything is unreal. They say that this cosmic manifestation arises due to chance material actions and reactions. They do not think that the world was created by God for a certain purpose. They have their own theory that the world has come about in its own way and that there is no reason to believe that there is a God behind it. For them, there is no difference between spirit and matter, and they do not accept the Supreme Spirit. Everything is matter only, and the whole cosmos is supposed to be a mass of ignorance. According to them, everything is void. Yeah, and whatever manifestation exists is due to our ignorance in perception. They take it for granted that all manifestation of diversity is a display of ignorance. Just as in a dream, we may create so many things which actually have no existence. Then when we are awake, we shall see that everything is simply a dream. But factually, although the demons say that life is a dream, they are very expert in enjoying this dream. And so instead of acquiring knowledge, they become more and more implicated in their dreamland. They conclude that as a child is simply the result of sexual intercourse between man and woman, this world is born without any soul. For them, it is only a combination of matter that has produced the living entities. And there is no existence, and there is no question of the existence of the soul. As many living creatures come out from perspiration and from a dead body without any cause, the whole living world has come out of the material combinations of the cosmic manifestation. Therefore, material nature is the cause of this manifestation, and there is no other cause. They do not believe in the words of Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, Maya Dyakshena Prakriti Suyate Sacharacharam. Under my direction, the whole material world is moving. In other words, among the demons, there is no perfect knowledge of the creation of the world. Every one of them has some particular theory of his own. According to them, one interpretation of the scriptures is as good as another, for they do not believe in a standard understanding of the scriptural injunctions. Thank you.
So they do not believe in standard understanding. Means what? They create their own understanding. They may read the same Bhagavad Gita or Bible, they'll create their own understanding. And everything is middle combination. Oh, man and woman came and baby is born. Where is the question of the soul? So these are all demoniac natures, right? Even people from very good families, sometimes in India, they're also afflicted by this. They say, oh yeah, you don't need God because ultimately, how did I have a baby? Because by having sex, right? But then some people don't have kids. What is the explanation? Some people have way too many kids. What is the explanation? All right. I know I met one abortion doctor when we were going to Badrinath, Gangotri, Yamunotri. We had a trip. This was almost 10 years ago. So she was saying that she was a abortion doctor and she aborted many kids. And now she's very afraid because now she knows the philosophy. She has killed so many people. So what is going to happen to me? That was her thinking right now. Right? So she's initiated devotee now, but still she has performed so many murders by killing the babies inside the womb. So it's like that. When you don't have the scriptural philosophical understanding, you'll make a lot of mistakes. And ignorance is not an excuse. You have to find, you have to find out the truth by reading the scriptures or go and ask a spiritual master. Ignorance is not an excuse. Okay, 16:9. Etam drishtim avasthabhyam
Etam drishtim avasthabhya
nashtatmano alpaya
Nashtatmano alpabuddhayaha
Daya
prabhavanti ugrakarmanah
prabhavanti ugrakarmanaha
Kshaya Kshayaya Jagato Ahitaha.
shayaya jagato ahitaha.
So, following such conclusion, this drishtim, etam drishtim, right? This vision. What are they doing? Nashtatmano alpa buddhe. Alpa means little, small, alpa. So, nashtatmano, right? So, their nashta means lost. Their intelligence is lost. They have no intelligence. And they are engaged in unbeneficial, horrible works. Ugra karmanaha. So, there is karma, sukarma, vikarma, and ugra karma. Ugra karma means gross, dangerous karma, which will take one down the path of hellish condition, not only for them, but for everybody else around them. Right? So, they have no intelligence, engage in unbeneficial, horrible work, which are meant to destroy the world. So, the demoniac are engaged in activities that will lead the world to destruction. The Lord states here that they are less intelligent. The materialists who have no concept of God think that they are advancing. Right? Right now, like Silicon Valley, everybody's thinking, yes, we are advancing. We invented the chip, we invented the computer, the Tesla car, we invented the space shuttle. Now, what happened? Something as simple as burning of trees is causing them to choke. So many people will die in this process because people who with weak lungs, with weak heart, when they breathe all these toxic fumes caused by natural burning, they may fall sick or some may die also, right? So they are thinking that, yeah, we can pretty much achieve everything. You can achieve for some time, like even civilizations before us, the Roman civilization, the Greek civilization, the Irish civilization, the Chinese, many civilizations in China, many civilizations in India, they all went away, right? So by the time the British came, there were only a few kings left, and vast majority of the people were just very simple-minded farmers. They forgot their great civilization that they had before. So all those things get lost. So then they try to enjoy the material world to the utmost limit, always engaging in inventing something for sense gratification. So if you see how many things are invented in America for sense gratification, right? For everything, there is an invention. Even now they have robots for sex, right? So if their spouse or girlfriend is missing, they'll just go, they have a robot and then they will perform that on the robot, like that, right? So everything is they are inventing for sense gratification. So such materialist inventions are considered to be advancement. They're saying, yes, look, we have invented practically everything for everything, right? So first they'll invent something like a cigarette or some drug, right? And then after that, once the person is addicted, then they send them to de-addiction camp. The cost of the cigarette or drug could be $10,000 over a period of X number of years. But the cost of de-addiction is $30,000 or $50,000. And then the fellow has to take a loan for that de-addiction. Now he has to pay interest. For another 10, 15 years, he's paying interest on that one. And one fine day, he'll decide that this is too much hassle living in this world, and then the fellow will commit suicide. Then he'll become a ghost, right? So one small thing is leading to so many other negative things. So the initial thing is very small, but it leads to so many other negative things. And they are more and more cruel to animals and cruel to other human beings. Like they give hunting permits to kill animals. Why? Why can't you just leave them alone? I mean, the animals are not cruel unless you are cruel to them. If you just leave them alone, they'll just go about their own ways, produce their own babies, and not really bother you. Once in a while, a bear may come into the city, but it's not on a daily basis, right? But then they have to kill those animals like that. And then they have no idea. And then that is only one type of killing. Other type of killing is billions of chickens. They first raise them and then they kill them. So that's also very sinful, actually. So they have no idea how to behave towards one another. Animal killing is very prominent. Such people are considered enemies of the world because they ultimately invent something that will bring destruction to all. And that's what's happening right now. There is a saying, if you go into their space, they will come into your space. So human beings went in and built all these beautiful homes in the forested areas. And 1 million acres has been burnt in the last 2 weeks. You know this? 1 million acres. And the smoke is coming all the way from California and Oregon to state of Washington. And even for me, I was finding difficult to breathe today, right? I opened the window of my room, office room, and then I looked at that sill, that white wooden piece at the bottom. I touched on it, there was ash on it. And then I realized, oh my God, I'm breathing this ash, right? It is suspended in the air. So yeah, not only for one person, but they cause destruction for everybody. Previously, there were forest fires which were contained in the forest. But now there is no demarcation between forest and city, right? The houses are stretching. So the fire just starts somewhere and then it spreads everywhere. It never used to be this bad, like 100 years ago. There were forest fires, but they were very contained. I just saw Gavin Newsom, governor of California, on TV. I watched him for like maybe 3 minutes. And he was saying, finally, what we have been saying about climate change for all these years has come true. We have to do something about it. They're waking up now, right? So at any moment, war may take place, and there are atomic weapons. Actually, we are very lucky. For last 90 years, since Second World War, there is no war. But who knows for how long, right? And if this time the war happens, right, we are all finished. Just see, the forest fires are killing us so bad. This time there is a big war, right? Very few people will be left. Second World War was very contained. It was only in Europe. Largely, India was spared. Maybe some bombs were thrown on Calcutta through aircraft, because Calcutta was the capital of India back then during the British. But yeah, other than that, it was spared for the most part. But this time it will be fun. Nobody will be spared, good or bad. So this is what Prabhupada means by causing trouble to others also. So demons not only cause to themselves, but to others. Due to godlessness, such weapons are invented in human society. They are not meant for peace and prosperity of the world. So there's no peace and prosperity, just killing. Kamamashritya dushpuram.
Kamamashritya dushpuryam.
Damba mana madanvitaha.
Dambamanamadanditaha.
Mohad grihitavas grahan.
Mohad grihitva sadgrahan.
Pravartante asuchivrataha.
Pravartante suchivrataha.
No, it is not suchivrataha, it is asuchivrataha. There is an apostrophe there.
Okay.
So, suchi means cleanliness. But these demons, they take the vrata of uncleanliness. Asuchi vrata, not suchi vrata.
Okay.
Taking shelter of insatiable lust and absorbed in the conceit of pride and false prestige, the demoniac, thus illusioned, are always sworn to unclean work, attracted by the impermanent, right? So most people are attracted by the impermanent, right? So impermanent could be anything like, okay, I'm attached to my house, right? That is impermanent. Naturally, it will collapse in 60 years. But in the meantime, forest fire comes, it will collapse whenever the fire comes. Right? So demoniac means always attracted by the impermanent instead of the permanent soul, eternal soul. Okay, now Prabhu, read purport.
The demonic mentality is described here. The demons have no satiation for their lust. They will go on increasing and increasing their insatiable desires for material enjoyment, although they are always full of anxieties on account of accepting non-permanent things. They still continue to engage in such activities out of illusion. They have no knowledge and cannot tell that they have heading the wrong way. Accepting non-permanent things, such demonic peoples create their own god, create their own hymns, and chant accordingly. The result is that they become more and more attracted to two things: sex enjoyment and accumulation of material wealth. The word asuchi vrata, unclean vows, is very significant in this connection. Such demoniac people are only attracted by wine, women, gambling, and meat eating. Those are their asuchi, unclean habits. Induced by pride and false prestige, they create some principles of religion which are not approved by the Vedic injunctions. Although such demoniac peoples are most abominable in the world, by artificial means the world creates a false honor for them. Although they are gliding towards hell, they consider themselves very much advanced.
Yeah. So if you pick up an average newspaper, right, like NewYorkTimes.com, LATimes.com, or Bloomberg, who do we hear about? We don't hear about Swami Prabhupada, but who do we hear about?
They preach Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah.
They speak in English. Listen every week. Yeah. What?
Yeah. So if you pick up an average newspaper, you hear about Elon Musk, all the politicians, Michael Bloomberg, Trump, Biden. Then you hear about, all the popular people like, of course, nobody talks about Larry Page now, but there used to be a time when they used to talk about Eric Schmidt and Larry Page. Now it's all Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, like that. Why? Because they are temporarily successful. And after 10, 15 years, they'll be forgotten. For example, when I came to America, everybody used to talk about Warren Buffett, but no longer, right? So today, who are they praising? They are praising whoever can accumulate the most material wealth, right? And whoever is having the most sex enjoyment, like all the movie stars, the sports stars, their boyfriends, their girlfriends, like that, right? Like one day I was reading something article, how this guy who's a fashion designer in France got addicted to drugs and he's spending like $800 a day on drugs And that's supposed to be like great news. The fellow is like a horrible fellow, and he's addicted to drugs, and that becomes like a very big news item in the fashion news, right? So this is what's happening, and they have asuchi, means unclean habits. Demons have unclean habits. Demons doesn't mean that you have two horns on your head or anything like that. No, demons means they also look like us, but they have unclean habits, and they are induced by dambo darpa, pride and false prestige. That was the verse, right? We just read. Damba mana. There's one more verse which says dambo darpa. Damba. What does damba mean? Let's look at the meaning here. Damba means pride. Mana means false prestige. Mana apamana. Apamana means basically not getting enough respect. But today respect is given only for two things, which is why it is called a asuric or demoniac civilization. Original civilization means God-centered civilization. But now people are giving value only to these two things: accumulate as much material wealth as possible, and then engage in the sexual activity. Like there was one billionaire who was caught about 4 months ago. Even after COVID came, right? He had some young girls on his flight and they were doing all kinds of things. And then the health officials were saying, what are you doing? You're taking these young minors on your plane. Not only you're having sex with them, but you're also infecting them potentially with COVID. So, continuing on. Chintam
Chintam
aparimeyam
aparimeyam
cha
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 pralayantam
pralayantam
upashritaha
upashritaha
kamopabhoga
kamopaboga
parama
parama
etavad
etavat
iti nishchitaha
iti nishitaha
asapasa
ashapasha
sater
shateir
baddhaha
baddaha
kamakrodhaparayanaha
kamakrodha parayanaha
ihante
ihante
kamabhogartam
kamabhogartam
anyayenartha
anyayanartha
sanchayan
sanchayan
chintam aparimayeyam cha
chintam aparimeyam cha
pralayantam upasritaha
pralayantam upashritaha
kamopabhoga parama
kamopaboga parama
etavaditi nishchitaha
yatavaditi nishitaha
ashapasha sater baddhaha
ashapasha shatairbaddaha
kamakrodha parayanaha
kamakrodha parayanaha
ihante kamabhogartam
ihante kamabhogartam
anyenartha sanchayan.
anyeyanartha sanchayan.
So they means demons here, the asuras and rakshasas, believe that to gratify the senses is the prime necessity of human civilization. Gratify means satisfy the senses. So eyes should watch movies, ears should listen to some rock music, tongue should eat some animals, like that, skin should enjoy sexual pleasure, like this. So this is the normal thinking of a demoniac activity, right? Like I work in the consulting field and people work very hard, and in the evening everybody goes out drinking, and some people also engage in illicit sex. with whoever they find after the drinking is done, right? So why? Because the demoniac tendencies, right? Thus, until the end of their life, anxiety is immeasurable. Why are they anxious? Oh, what will happen to me if I lose my job? I will, be not able to satisfy my senses like that. So, bound by a network of hundreds of thousands of desires and absorbed in lust and anger, they secure money by illegal means for sense gratification. So, almost everybody is trying to cheat other, right? Like, for example, there was one company that was, doing auditing of the books for some companies, right? So they lied about the financial position. So that company, after a while, the stock market, in the stock market, their price crashed, right? What was like $60, and it went to $3 or something. I'm talking about Enron Corporation. So this is all illegal because the company never had so much money, but the auditors said that yes, they have so much money. So what happened? The whole thing came crashing down. So the demons secure money by illegal means. And what happened? The company that lied about Enron's thing, they later on it was sued by some other company. So whatever money they made, then they had to give it to this other company who sued them, right? In this way, everybody is cheating everybody in the modern world, right? Everybody is cheating some other fellow. And this way, this whole network of cheating is going on in the modern world. So it may look very nice because you are in an air-conditioned building, nice carpet, maybe marble flooring. But in the back of all this, there is massive amount of cheating happening. The demoniac accept that enjoyment of senses is ultimate goal of life. And this concept they maintain until death. So they say enjoyment of senses, okay, you have to like work hard, enjoy senses to the full. In the weekend, you should go out on a boat, get drunk, do whatever you want to do, like that. Okay, so Shiva, please read this.
The demonic accept that the enjoyment of the senses is the ultimate goal of life, and this concept they maintain until death. They do not believe in life after death, and they do not believe that one takes on different types of bodies according to their one's karma or activities in this world. Their plans for life are never finished, and they go on preparing plan after plan, all of which are never finished. We have personal experience of a person of such demonic mentality who even at the point of death was requesting the physician to prolong his life for 4 years more because his plans were not yet complete. Such foolish people do not know that a physician cannot prolong life even for a moment. When the notice is there, there is no consideration of the man's desire. The laws of nature do not allow a second beyond what one is destined to enjoy. The demonic person who has no faith in God or the super soul within himself performs all kinds of sinful activities simply for sense gratification. He does not know that there is a witness sitting within his heart. The super soul is observing the activities of the individual soul. As it is stated in the Upanishads, there are two birds sitting in one tree. One is acting and enjoying or suffering the fruits of branch. Other is witness. But one who is demonic has no knowledge of Vedic scriptures, nor has he any faith. Therefore, he is free to do anything for sense enjoyment, regardless of the consequences.
Yeah, so this is another important point. So a demon feels free to do anything for sense enjoyment, regardless of consequence. Like I remember one person, his name was Scott. He was a CIO of Microsoft. So one day he was caught in the office. There was one secretary, like the front desk type of a lady. So they were doing something in the sofa in his office room, right? So, and this fellow had a wife and like 4 or 6 kids. And then, of course, he was fired. And then after that, Steve Ballmer was trying to sue him and all that stuff. Like the fellow who has grown to a CIO level, he has a wife and 4 kids for sense enjoyment, regardless of consequence. Now he lost his job. I mean, he lost his job the very same day, he was asked to leave. So they don't worry about consequences. For them, sex, 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 everything is sex, right? And America is especially known for that. Here, you are considered successful if you have money, and then you are able to do unrestricted amount of sex. But the Vedic civilization is exactly opposite, right? So one has to go away from that tendencies of sense gratification. Idam adya maya labdhvam.
Idam adya maya labdham.
Imam prapse manoratham.
Imam prapse manoratham.
Idam ashtidam api me.
Idamashti
Idamashtimam me.
Bhavishyati punardhanam.
Bhavishyati punardhanam.
Shyati punardhanam.
Aso maya hata satrur.
Asau maya hatah shatru
Hanishye chaparanapi.
hanishye chaparanapi
Ishvaroham aham bhogi.
Ishvaroham aham bhogi
Siddho aham balavan sukhi.
Siddhoham balavan sukhi
Adyo abhijanavanasmi.
Adyo abhijanavanasmi
Konyo sti sadriso maya.
Konyosti sadrisho maya
Yakshe dasyami modisya.
Yakshe dasyami modishya
Jnana vimohitaha.
Iti ajnana vimohitaha.
Srila Prabhupada used to quote this a lot. So a demon thinks Ishvaroham aham bhogi. I am the Ishvara, I am the controller, I am aham bhogi, I am the enjoyer. So you see this tendency very much in America, right? Somehow or the other I have to become very rich. They always talk about millionaires, billionaires, right? And I have to enjoy, right? So if they're already enjoying, they want to enjoy even more. So there doesn't seem to be any limit for enjoyment. So Jimi Hendrix, who was like a rock star, guitar player, so he was always, drinking this, that, enjoying, so-called enjoyment. But then he said, this is not sufficient. So one day he drank and he had so much drugs that he vomited and then he died in his vomit. So when they found him, his body was in a pool of vomit. Right? So this is how people happen. And now same thing is happening in India with this whole Riya and the movie actor who supposedly committed suicide, but actually he was murdered. Right? So much nonsense happening there. So this is the natural tendency, right? Ishvaroham, I am the Ishvara, and aham bhogi, I am the enjoyer. So I have to control as much as possible, become an Ishvara over more and more assets, and I have to enjoy each one of them. So with this tendency, and this tendency is there in 100% of the population, but the saintly people control this tendency. They push it down, right? We all have this, although we are reading Bhagavad Gita. But at least we are slowly practicing to control our tendency of being an Ishvara, controller, and being a bhogi, enjoyer. So the demoniac person thinks, so much wealth do I have today, and I will gain more according to my schemes. They're always making schemes, right? Like the Tesla stock, which was 300 before COVID hit, is now like 2,500. And then the stock split and all that. So they'll make a scheme like that. And then somebody who will buy at 2,500, if it falls to even 2,000, that fellow will be a big loser. Doesn't matter. The demons always want to artificially pump up things. And they'll think so much is mine now, and it will increase in future more and more. And then if somebody opposes your plans, right, you'll think, oh, he's my enemy. I have to kill him. And if other enemies come, they will also be killed. And then I am the Lord of everything, right? So this is our human tendency, the soul's tendency. We want to lord it over everything that we see. So I am the enjoyer because I am lording it over everything. This lording mentality is our enemy. We have to get out of this lording mentality. And then people think I'm perfect, powerful, and happy. I'm the richest man, right? Surrounded by aristocratic relatives. But if you see the story of every rich man like Clint Eastwood or so many movie heroines, after a while they cannot even afford the mansion that they live in and they start selling. Just yesterday, one movie actress sold her mansion, 20 something million dollars, because they cannot afford it after once they are no longer in that position of a top heroine or whatever. There is none so powerful and happy as I am. They think like this: I am very happy because I can control and lord it over so many things temporarily. Because nobody can lord it over, right? Just like the place where we are, this all used to belong to the American Indians, like Sammamish, Sakwa. These are all tribes. Then the Europeans came and killed them and occupied their land. And now all the IT engineers are coming and we are occupying this land. Another 50 years later, somebody else will occupy this land, like that, right? So we can never be permanently controlling anything, but we forget that. We think we can permanently control something. And they say, I'll give some charity and this way I will rejoice, means be happy somehow or the other. But that's not possible. In this way, the persons are deluded by ignorance. So illusion means you are thinking something which doesn't exist exists. And delusion means extended illusion. So, for example, the stock market right now is artificially pumped up because of federal government printing more and more money to stop COVID. I mean, to stop the unemployment due to COVID and all that by giving stimulus. But it has other consequences, right? It will make people on the top even more proud because all of a sudden people will use that money to buy more stocks. Prices keep on increasing, and who are bought early on, they'll think that yes, I am the Lord. I have become so rich, right? So due to these schemes. Okay. So we'll pause there for some questions. Any questions, thoughts? So that's demons. So by that definition, right, from 1615, almost everybody is a demon. Only a few people are saintly. Everybody is trying to play this game right now. Okay, so let's next verse. Aneka chitta vibhranta
Aneka chitta vibranta
moha jala samavritaha
jala samavritaha
prasaktaha kama bhogeshu
prasaktakama bhogeshu
patanti naraksha suchau narake suchau.
Patanti narake
narake
Yeah, so naraka, they'll go to naraka. That's what Krishna is saying. Thus, perplexed by various anxieties and bound by a network of illusions, they become too strongly attached to sense enjoyment and fall down to hell. So, perplexed by various anxieties. So, these demons are always perplexed by various anxieties. And almost in the modern society, just about everybody. Network of illusions, because they're networks of desires, but it's also illusion. Why? Because people are thinking, I can achieve this, I can achieve that. These are all living in illusions, and nothing may come to fruition. Nothing may come to success. Okay, Sarvana, please read.
The demoniac man knows no limit to his desire to acquire money. That is unlimited. He thinks only of how much assessment he has just now and schemes to engage that stock of wealth further and further. For that reason, he does not hesitate to act in any sinful way and so deals in the black market for illegal gratification. He is enamored by the possessions he has already, such as land, family, house, and bank balance, and he is always planning to improve them. He believes in his own strength and he does not know that whatever he is gaining is due to his past good deeds. He is given an opportunity to accumulate such things, but he has no conception of past causes. He simply thinks that all his mass of wealth is due to his own endeavor. A demoniac person believes in the strength of his personal work, not in the law of karma. According to the law of karma, a man takes his birth in a high family or becomes rich or very well educated or very beautiful because of good work in the past. The demoniac think that all these things are accidental and due to the strength of one's personal ability. They do not sense any arrangement behind all the varieties of people, beauty, and education. Anyone who comes into competition with such a demoniac man is his enemy. There are many demoniac people, and each is enemy to the others. This enmity becomes more and more deep between persons, then between families, then between societies, and at last between nations. Therefore, there is constant strife, war, and enmity all over the world. Each demoniac person thinks that he can live at the sacrifice of all others. Generally, a demoniac person thinks of himself as a supreme God, and a demoniac preacher tells his followers, "Why are you seeking God elsewhere? You are all yourselves God. Whatever you like, you can do. Don't believe in God. Throw away God. God is dead." These are the demoniac's preachings. Although the demoniac person sees others equally rich and influential, or even more so, he thinks that no one is richer than he and that no one is more influential than he. As far as promotion to the higher planetary system is concerned, he does not believe in performing yajnas or sacrifices. Demons think that they will manufacture their own process of yajna and prepare some machine by which they will be able to reach any higher planet. The best example of such a demoniac man was Ravana. He offered a program to the people by which he would prepare a staircase so that anyone could reach the heavenly planets without performing sacrifices, such as are prescribed in the Vedas. Similarly, in the present age, such demoniac men are striving to reach the higher planetary systems by mechanical arrangements. These are examples of bewilderment. The result is that without their knowledge, they are gliding towards hell. Here, the Sanskrit word mohajala is very significant. Jala means net, like fish caught in a net. They have no way to come out.
Yeah, so such demon people are caught in this net. And they also say, "You're all yourselves God." Actually, there is a temple in Bellevue. There is this one Swami called Nityananda, fake Swami. And he told everybody, "You're all God." And then these people, some of my colleagues came and said, yeah, you don't need to worship God. We are all God. This is what that Nityananda told us. Of course, there is a real Nityananda who came 500 years ago, incarnation of Balaram, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, incarnation of Krishna. They gave the right thing. But these modern people are misrepresenting this information. They're saying everybody can become God. No, how can you become God? And then there is the enmity. First, it starts between two people, right? Then it starts between families, then between societies, and at last between nations. So right now, India and Pakistan are always at war. India and China at war, right? Middle Eastern countries, there many of them are at war with each other. So this starts first at personal level, then familial level, then societal level, and finally national level. So this is what's going on. So almost everybody is a demon right now because they don't want to follow the scriptures. And even the so-called religionists, spiritualists, they are also misrepresenting. So there are very few. I mean, it's not like there's nobody. There are very few who understand the real thing, like Swami Prabhupada came and is teaching us that there is a real way of understanding religion and spirituality, and then we need to take to that. But whenever you talk about the real thing, right, not many people are interested. But when you talk of bogus thing, like Deepak Chopra comes, there'll be like 1,000 people in the audience, right? Because he will just give some touchy-feely stuff, and it doesn't go into depth in any topic to upset anybody. But once you start going deep into the topic, only serious people will remain. The rest will simply vacate. They'll go away. So that's what's happening, right? So this is very important verse. right? Aneka chitta vibranta. So their consciousness, chitta, is fully anxious all the time. Moha jala samamvritaha. So they are in a jala. Jala means network, a net of moha, illusions. Not one illusion, but many. Prakashata kama bhogeshu. Right? Kama bhoga. Bhoga means enjoyment, kama means desires. Prakashataha means they are attached. Patanti narake asachao. Asachao. So patanti means going down, narake means hell, asachao, because they are unclean in thoughts, words, and deeds. Right? Sometimes in office, people will use very, very bad words. It's not like you don't have to use the bad words to get the work done, but still their psychology is such. So they will get to bad words. Okay, so now what is your opinion about demons? We have covered a lot of ground today. Well, 999 of the 1,000 people that you meet in the world are demons. Varying degrees, that's it. Some are little demoniac, some are extremely demoniac. But all of them are violating God's principles. So that will be hard to swallow, right? You'll say, oh, I thought he was such a nice friend of mine, 20, 25 years friendship. Okay, but you scratch the surface, you'll see that they won't have any concept of following the right injunction or direction by the Lord. They created their own religion, right? Like even, for example, many people from Andhra worship Sai Baba. Sai Baba was a Muslim priest. And that's why they didn't burn his body, they put him in a samadhi. And Muslims used to go there, and then a lot of Hindu friends also used to join. Now the Muslims have forgotten him. He has become a Hindu saint. And every home there is Sai Baba picture, right? But he never said, I am God, or he never said anything like that. He was a moralist, right? And he was a Muslim priest. So how things change? Because people don't want to worship the real thing. Because by worshipping Krishna, then they have to follow so many rules. Krishna says so many things in Bhagavad Gita. So they'll pick somebody lightweight and start praying to him. Right? Even for that matter, even Jesus was a sadhu. But now they made him into God. Like I was talking to somebody in Seattle, he said, no, it's not like Jesus is a Messiah. He himself is God. So they converted him from a sadhu to God himself. So this is how foolishness reigns. Jesus never said even one time, pray to me. He said, pray to the Father, right? Because he's a sadhu, saint. So now they converted him to God. So unfortunately, this is what's happening. So any comments?
The moment we step out of our home, then most of the people that we meet are in demonic nature. And if you enter into the office, you don't even have to ask. Everyone would be in that word, the mode of passion.
Yeah,
And
100%. You're right.
Abusive words.
Yeah, you have understood the spirit of Bhagavad Gita. Almost everybody we meet is a demon because they are unclean in their words, actions, and thoughts. Of course, the thoughts manifest into actions, right? Like, yeah, everybody is into that. So,
and many people don't even know that they are in that
yeah,
demonic nature.
that is the unfortunate part, right? Unless they read this chapter, first of all, most people won't even make it to chapter 16th. Like most of my students, I had 30 students when I started. Right now, I have 3 students in the class, right? Most people cannot even make it this far. They cannot take it. It's too strong for them. So they give up along the way. Just like about 20 minutes ago, one person joined. He stayed for 10 minutes and he dropped because it was too heavy. I kept saying, demons are like this, demons are like this. So he got fed up and he dropped. You probably noticed there was a 5th person in the class and he was talking to his wife or somebody. I had to mute him.
Right, yes, bro.
Yeah. So what do? I mean, we are all living in the demoniac society. So we are all influenced. So unless somebody comes to this chapter, they won't even know that they are demons. It's that unfortunate part. They may think that actually, if you scratch the surface of any average guy, they'll think, I'm such a good guy. Everybody else is bad, but I'm so good, And that's how they think. So what to do? I mean, unless there is jnana given systematically, of course, they should be willing to learn, right?
I'm not even very much concerned about their personal behaviors or their personal opinions, but hurting others. I think people do it left and right, and they don't worry, especially in the office environment.
Yeah.
They very take it very easily, and then the words that they use are very abusive.
Yeah.
And they all think that this is all for their professional career.
Yeah.
And
Kama Bhogeshu. Because of their desires and say, focus on their own enjoyment, they are troubling others. And they glide where? Patanti Narake. Krishna clearly is saying. And as Paramatma is recording each one of all of our deeds. So at least we should not be demoniac, right? I mean, the society around us is demoniac. We should improve ourselves gradually. Yeah. You cannot change the whole world. It's impossible. But we have to realize that we are living in a demoniac environment. And one person said, oh, yeah, we'll all go to hell, as if it's such a great thing. So they know that they're doing bad things. Yeah, we'll all go to hell. So acknowledging the fact that they are doing things that will take down to hell. Right? So it has become excessive. The nature has become excessive now. Yeah. Any thoughts, Shiva?
No, Prabhu, yeah, everything is absolutely true. I do accept.
Yeah, but we have to start with fixing ourselves, right? Because if you don't try to consciously do that, you'll get sucked into this, right? If there are 999 demoniacs around you, and even if you want to be good, unless you have a very strong consciousness, you will be dragged into that. Like one devotee came and told me, Prabhu, there was a party this last Saturday. I drank some alcohol and I ate some fish. He's openly admitting because he got dragged, sucked into that. Right? It's not just about eating, right? It's also about when you sit down and talk to them, your mind is getting upset gradually.
Right.
So we have to be very careful. That's why Srila Prabhupada said, you have to strictly follow these 4 principles. No eating meat, fish, or eggs. No drinking alcohol, marijuana, those kind of things. No illicit sex, which is very common in America. And no gambling. Why? These 4 things will mess up your mind. And when they mess up, you will not even realize that you have become a demon. You'll become one of them. You see the point? Without your knowing, you'll become like that. Just like Nagaprabhu was saying, they don't even realize that they are like that. Everybody thinks that they're good. Have you ever seen anybody says, I am bad? No. So yeah, we have to be careful. Change starts with us, right? We change first. Okay, let's chant. Sri Krishna Chaitanya